So now that the 2023 Minecraft mob vote has come to a conclusion and the armadillo has been crowned the winner, many rumors and theories have been brought up claiming that the vote was rigged by people using exploits to vote for the armadillo multiple times. Now, with such a strong claim, one would obviously have to provide evidence, so what is the evidence that the vote was rigged? Well, Twitter user Bogdan laid it out in a 13-part tweet, and today I want to discuss his findings with you all to see if there is any weight to this claim. Was the 2023 Minecraft mob vote rigged for the armadillo? Let's begin. So, in order to begin this discussion, I first want to state the results of the mob vote. According to the official Minecraft Twitter account, in this year's mob vote, there were over 5 million votes casted, with the armadillo receiving 42.3%, the crab receiving 32.5%, and the penguin receiving 25.2%. Now, what this means is that the vote was an absolute blowout. 10 percentage points is a huge difference in voting. In this particular election, this means there was a 500,000 vote difference between first and second place. That's not even close. But what people realized is that in many community-conducted polls, like for example this one on Twitter, sent out by the Mr. Epic, the majority of people said that they voted for the crab in the vote. In this particular poll asking the question, who did you vote for in the mob vote? A staggering 55% said the crab, followed by 28% saying the armadillo, and finally 17% for the penguin. This is a big contrast to the official results of the vote, but one thing that must be noted here is that on the Twitter poll, there were only 3,500 responses, a much smaller sample of the community, and I think the people who voted for the crab would be more likely to seek out a poll like this on social media. They are frustrated that they lost, so they go looking for somewhere to make their voice heard again. I don't think community-conducted polls are the best evidence to the vote being rigged, but there's no doubt that a lot of these polls had the numbers a lot closer than a 10% difference between the armadillo and the crab. Where I think the evidence gets really interesting is when Bogdan gets into his 12-part series on Twitter. It begins with him submitting a bug report, and here's what he found. Mob vote packet allows for votes of infinite size. I'm sure it might have also allowed for people to send infinite votes. The mob vote is a packet containing a single array, and people can fabricate their own packets containing multiple and repeated elements. Yesterday, I was tinkering with the voting API in an attempt to create a joke vote, but one issue that I discovered is that votes are registered as an array of options. People with minimal networking knowledge can fabricate their own vote packets, bypassing the limits of sending a single mob as a vote. Following this logic of a system that works with both single and multi-option votes, there's a possibility that the program that runs the count counts all elements from all voters, meaning it may recount votes for a single person that fabricated their own array of votes. This leads to the possibility of people voting twice, thrice, 73, 234, infinite amount of times if the vote counting algorithm isn't sanitized, which is a concern raised when the input for the votes isn't. So this can be really confusing, and I'll try and explain it in a minute, but Bogdan also shares a picture here showing how the mob vote may have been exploited and how this bug can be reproduced. Step 1. Obtain a Minecraft token by logging into Minecraft.net. Do a normal mob vote via the Minecraft browser. Extract the vote UUID from packet traffic, build a packet targeting the vote with the Minecraft token in the header and a custom array, send the packet, reload the browser to check if the last vote packet received is the same as the modified packet sent. He then shares graphics for us to help and explain the situation, so here I'll try and help explain what all this means, as it's obviously pretty confusing. So he says, the non-tech explanation. Mob votes are your computer telling a server, I want to vote for X using packets, which are like email letters. Whenever you voted with the browser, launcher, server, you sent a packet with your Minecraft token or your identification and an array or a list of mobs. So what he's saying is that the Minecraft database was storing information as a list and not as a single option, which is what a vote is, to only get to pick one option, not submit a list. This means people could edit their vote packet to have multiple votes for the same mob over and over. For example, he shares this image of an example packet that reads, vote packet, votes, penguin, crab, 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 and so on. He then says that this vote packet was accepted by the server as a valid vote, even though he gave multiple votes as opposed to just one. This was all accepted and stored in the database. Now, we've established that the database stores information as a list instead of a single option, so how is this packet information read by the system to count votes? This is the big question posed by Bogdan, and he provides two options to how the system could read these vote packets. Option 1, read all. The counting program reads all options from all users. Each time a penguin is read, it gets counted. This is a possibility that could explain record votes and exploitation. If it works like this, we don't know if it does. He shares a graphic here explaining option 1. We have 5 different users casting their votes. If this first option is used by Minecraft to read the votes, user 1 would have 1 vote for the crab, user 2 would have 3 votes counted to the penguin, user 3 would have had 1 crab vote, user 4 would have had 1 crab and 1 armadillo vote counted, and user 5 would have had 1 armadillo vote. The system reads the player's vote packet as a list, counting each mob listed as a vote. If this is how the system worked in the mob vote this year, that would mean it was definitely broken and exploited, as people could have edited their vote packet to cast as many votes as they wanted for a certain mob, and the system would have read them all as individual votes. Bogdan then shares a second way the votes could have been counted. Option 2. In most programs, lists start from 0. If they counted reading only the first element, the vote went correctly and they just wasted database space. I want to believe this is the case, but they already failed at storing votes, max size, and repetition. So in this particular example, we have the same 5 users, but this time the system only reads the first listed mob as the player's latest vote, and that's all that gets counted to the system. So user 1 voted for the crab, user 2 voted for the penguin, user 3 voted for the crab, user 4 voted for the crab, and user 5 voted for the armadillo. Only their latest mob was counted, but all the other information was still stored on the server. So if this is how Minecraft's system counted the vote was 100% legit and there was no exploitation, but the big question Bogdan has is why Minecraft stores all the information like this as lists and not as one option, as the list wastes space when only one option should be counted anyway. He drew his own conclusion, suggesting that maybe the current system is put in place to handle multiple options. Here's what he said: storage doesn't matter. It's Microsoft wasting gigabytes on their database, but how you count these votes is what matters. Let's remember, this is probably a system made to handle multi-option, and they already forgot to check for size and repetition to store your vote. Was there a record of votes or a record of voters? Anyway, remember, there's no guarantee on how the counter works. We don't know, and we don't know if someone actually exploited, and dang, 2-round votes were better. Just make it a preference list in the future. Well, that's everything I got. I hope the count was done properly, but I can't shake the feeling off. The story continues as earlier today, Echo Soldier tweeted saying, "There have been rumors that this year's Minecraft Live mob vote was hacked. Mojang have confirmed that these attempts did not impact the final result in the armadillo winning." He then shares a screenshot from a Discord server that he says is an official statement from Mojang saying, "The team is aware that there were attempts to taint the results of the mob vote. However, rest assured that these attempts did not impact the results. We are confident that this year's winner accurately reflects the results of the vote. Bogdan saw this tweet and said, "If this is Mojang's answer, this is it. I'm glad they are at least acknowledging the security concerns after the silence. Let's just hope next year there will be some improvements to the API." Now, I couldn't find which Discord server this statement was made from. I couldn't find it in the official Minecraft server. It appears other people were also wondering this. What server is this? For real, dude. It's the Source Trust Me Bro server. So yeah, just a really weird situation all around. For some reason, Minecraft's database stores way more information than it needs, and it really comes down to just how that information is read and counted to determine if we had a legit vote this year. Mojang assures us we did. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll be sure to leave a link down below to all these Twitter threads. Hopefully I cleared up some things today. Kind of a confusing situation, but definitely interesting nonetheless. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be sure to keep you all up to date. It's been Smitty. Peace out.